Welcome to the Sage 300 update and road ahead. Welcome to SWK 2021 Empower Virtual Conference. Thanks for joining us. We truly appreciate it. My name is Andrea Ainsley. I'm the Senior Product Manager for Sage 300. And with me today is Pooja Pekawar, Product Marketing Manager, also for Sage 300 and recent addition to our team. So welcome. And just to keep our legal team happy, I need to just review the safe harbor statement with you, and then we'll get going. So statements regarding our product development initiatives, including new products and future product upgrades, updates, or enhancements, represent our current intention, but may be modified, delayed, or abandoned without prior notice, and there is no assurance that such offering, upgrades, updates, or functionality will become available unless and until they've been made generally available to our customers. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Pooja, who's going to give a quick highlight on our new customer success stories.
Thank you,
Pooja.
Andrea. Thank you. So let's talk a bit about our customers. We have 4 new customer success stories available for Sage 300. They're available now on the internal sales portal, the partner hub, Sage Digital Library, and there are also links from our webpage to a couple of the stories. We are pleased with how they've turned out, and we are in the process of building campaigns around these assets. Just a quick synopsis on what they're about. So Alcan Air is a Canadian company offering flight services for tourism, medical evacuations, and mining expeditions across the Yukon and throughout British Columbia, as well as instruction in aviation and aviation management. They are a long-time customer of Sage 300 and point to the auditing, structure, and traceability that Sage 300 provides as the main reason they love it, being in a heavily regulated industry. Next is Simply Home, another Canadian company. They began as a wholesale home furnishing importer, supplying retailers like Home Depot, Walmart, and more. Several years ago, they made a pivot and started selling direct to consumers online, and realized their current accounting system couldn't handle the increased order load efficiently. So they chose Sage 300 and have been thriving with it ever since. They are quite similar to Wayfair, actually. In this pandemic, they have doubled the sales compared to their forecast. Really a great testament to how Sage 300 can help our customers thrive. Next, we have PS Lightwave, which is a women-owned telecommunications infrastructure and service provider based in Houston. Sage 300 has seen them through growth from 4 to 90 employees, and they use our product to run their business, stating that it helps them manage inventory efficiently in addition to streamlining accounts payable. Last, we have Sawing and Sharing. They are a family-owned and operated steel fabrications business in the Chicago area, and they use Sage 300 for everything to run their entire business. So it is a good case study for business management solutions, and it's a really great write-up that the Customer Spotlight team has delivered here. There's even a big family photo in the case study with 3 generations of folks involved in the business. It's super cute. You should check it out. So those are the customer success stories. Obviously, our customers love the product and continue to use it, and our activities and investments are a reflection of that. So back to you, Andrea.
Thank you, Pooja. All right, let's take a look at an update. So really what we wanted to do today is start with a recap of kind of what we've been able to deliver in this past year. We'll recap 2021, .0.1 and .2, and then we'll move on and look forward. So with that said, let's take a look. So last year at 2021.0, we launched some new functionality, Pay Now link, which allows customers to pay invoices, and the link can be included on your documents. We've partnered with PayPal and Stripe to bring instant e-invoicing to our Sage 300 cloud. Withholding tax in AR. So now we've added the ability to provide AR withholding tax as well as AP, and it's available in both the desktop and in the web screen. And then some updates for web screens include some text sizing, there's a setting that lets you change the size right on the web screen itself. It's persistent, and it allows you to increase or decrease. One of the advantages of decreasing is that you can it will dynamically adjust all of the fields so you can see more on the page without scrolling as much. So some great new additions. Expanded character limits for a few things. I think for check and deposit numbers, also for US payroll as well. And really what this did is before we only supported 9 characters, which meant that we had to do some truncation, which also meant that it took longer to do auditing and things like that. So we've expanded those character limits in order to address those check and deposit numbers as well as employee checks as well. US template update. So you can now set your account set in order entry templates as well, and a universal build. So basically the advantage here is if you're operating in multiple countries or regions, you can now access regional product modules like taxes and things like that from the same installer. So if, for example, you have a business with offices in Australia and one in Canada, you can install both from one build, which is great. Recap of 2021.1. We've updated our 1099 reporting and also improved 1099 CPRS codes. So there was a lot of changes with regards to forms this year. So for us, 1099 NEC has changed some reporting of where things are reported in boxes. So there's adjustments for that. On the AP Print 1099-96 form screen, you can now print the new 1099 NEC form as well, updated versions of the 1099 NISC and 1096 forms. 1099 CPRS codes also no longer correspond to specific box numbers. The box numbers have changed, which we've already kind of covered in the forms. So that's also been adjusted. Improved data integrity checking for 2021.1, which also includes some data integrity checking for integrated products. For some third-party products, you can now specify options to refine those integrity checks. And then as well, visual process flows for 2021.1. In our January release, I guess December, Adobe Flash was deprecated at the end of December, so we needed to do some work here. We made some adjustments to redesign our visual process flows and update the technology behind them so that they could continue to be viewed and the canned ones viewed as well. So any customer canned ones, you could view them. In our release in 2021.2, you can actually go in and edit and modify any pre-existing or create new visual process flows. So that's in the April release. All right, so what's new in March and April? So April 12th, we launched here in North America. We have a big update for web screens, redesigned Finder, updated report printing process, and CRM, the latest Sage CRM integration, as well as a brand new product that we've brought to market called Sage Data and Analytics. So all super exciting things. So let's take a look at web screens. So web screens, we have general ledger, account history inquiry, budget maintenance, and source currency inquiry. For accounts receivable, we have receipt inquiry and refund inquiry. And we also have user screen from common services. So some new web UIs. This brings us to about 99% complete in the GLAP, AR, admin services, common services modules. So we're continuing to knock down those screens and get those new UIs and new web screens out. So some new improvements. So a redesigned Finder is one of the big investments we've also made. We've heard from early adopters to our web screens that using the Finder and navigating, I guess, around the Finder, trying to find things has been quite difficult. So to make that easier, we've improved the filtering, make it easy to navigate through larger sets of data. We'll soon be able to add persistence for fields in which you want to find on. So we're continuing with that investment. And then we've also added some new keyboard shortcuts. So Alt Control Down opens and then Escape closes finders and pop-ups. So all great things. And then similarly, we have also improved a process for printing reports. This came about from something that we discovered with some of our larger customers in Sage 300, where their web screens started to slow down. And after some digging around and some research, we found that it was the Crystal runtime that was actually causing the problem. So during observation of customers using their systems, we discovered that customers really wanted to just create a PDF. So they didn't want to even go through the Crystal Viewer in the first place. It was just kind of one of the steps that they were used to. So we decided to eliminate the Crystal runtime and just be able to export reports to a file format. And then if you need to print, you can just print from your PDF. So we know there might be some additional feedback from our customer base and some further enhancements required, but I think this is a great first step towards improving that printing experience. All right, now let's look at desktop. So as I mentioned, the visual process flow, the ability to edit, was launched in our April release. So you can go and see, how you can go about modifying those visual process flows or creating a brand new one. And then we've got our integration with Sage Data and Analytics. So what we have here is prepackaged customizable data models out of the box, easy to use. So you can create as many reports as you need, and you can connect to multiple data sources to increase visibility and transparency, and overall reduce your IT as it's hosted in Azure, which means product releases and updates and maintenance are really done for you. So here's a quick look at a dashboard of Sage Data and Analytics, and you can see at the top we've got our KPIs displaying the details to understand our overall health of the business, including operating margins, AR, AP balance, profitability, etc. And in the lower half of the screen, you have some supporting KPIs, operating profit over time, profitability ratios, etc. And everything that you see here is completely customizable and configurable based on your needs. So it's not like these can't be modified or can't be created. Everything here is completely customizable. So our Sage Data and Analytics pricing package for North America is offered in 3 bundles. We've got our standard, advanced, and premium. And you can add on additional things as needed, but it's really well priced for such a flexible and easy to use tool. All right, so recent SDK and API improvements. And as product people, we don't tend to talk about this as much, but I feel like there's value here that you, our customers, are getting from continuing to do work in our own ecosystem and by investing in our SDK and API, it makes it easier for our partners, our third-party integrators, to do the work that they need to do, as well as our own internal development teams. So we've got new wizards for UI layout, Finder definition, code faster generation, and it just really makes it a little bit easier and faster to do. And we've also added more data and endpoints to enable partners to build rich cloud-connected solutions. We've updated our documentation, providing better code samples for our ecosystem, our ISV partners, to be able to hit the ground running. And we're working toward public API documentation. And you can also check out what's available at our developer.sage.com website if you're interested. All right, so Sage 300 deployed into Microsoft Azure. Basically, we've got a new deployment option for customers. They can now choose to work with their Sage business partners and have Sage 300 deployed on a Microsoft Azure cloud. This allows you to move your existing 300 deployment to Azure and gets you the best in reliability, security, and availability to guarantee your business continuity. So, why are, we moving to the cloud? Why are customers moving to the cloud? I think we've kind of covered that, but security, it's cost effective, flexible and scalable. And there's also reliability, minimizing any risks to your business. So overall this overall program allows our partners to be able to do all of this and manage all of this for you. One of the things that we know has been an ongoing challenge is for your systems, if there's any third parties out there, they're often kind of left to the end. And during this launch of this new ability for your partners to be able to provision your Sage 300 in Azure, we've worked very closely with all of our third-party products to ensure that they're going through a testing phase to make sure that their products do work and they are up to date. So here's some direct feedback that we've had from some of those names in our community that we work with very closely. And, overall, I think the experience has been very positive. And here's a look at where we are in going through and ensuring that all of those products are tested. And of course, we're still working through them, but most of the key ones have been done or have started. All right, so let's look at what's coming up and where we're making our investment. So this is our 3-year investment priority. Certainly, we're continuing on the web screen journey, business intelligence, ISV partner ecosystem, migration to the cloud, compliancy, and customer ideas. So these are the big themes. So as web screens, we're going to continue till we get to work towards parity with our desktop. For BI, we've just launched Sage Data and Analytics. We're currently in the process of updating our financial reporter to 64-bit and working through those challenges. And we're going to explore other opportunities of how we can improve business intelligence and reporting overall. So I don't think our work is yet done, but we've got some good strides there. We want to continue to support our ISV partner ecosystem with continuous improvements. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to support customers to move to the cloud at their own pace. So just like that, the ability to deploy Sage 300 now in Azure that your partners can do, we're going to continue to work towards that and make their job even easier to reduce total cost of ownership to you, our customer. And then compliance, payroll tax and updates, and other regulatory compliance development, always ongoing and really is our job number one. And then kind of our last bucket here we see is customer ideas. So these are customer requested features from our ideas portal. I also kind of consider this the customer overall health and success. So we also take consideration from NPS scores, verbatims from feedback and surveys and other customer touch points as well. And here's what the 3-year vision looks like. So again, broken down into the four key buckets really: regulatory compliance, technical compliance, and maintenance of line. The initiative to support native cloud, and then customer satisfaction. So as you can see, our regulatory compliance is going to continue. Technical compliance is ongoing. We do annual security maintenance and reviews and pen tests and all of that, and need to continuously invest in our security to make sure that the system is safe. We're going to continue to work on our native cloud by that, we're going to continue with our investment in web screens. In the future, we're looking at adding an integration to Sage Payroll Cloud and Sage HR. So that's out in FY23. And continue with our usability enhancements as well as that customer satisfaction bucket. Right, so specific roadmap. The reason I left this in is this kind of highlights kind of where we're at. So August is our next release, so what we're planning to deliver. You can see that we're wrapping up GL web screens. So the last UI there is chart of accounts, AR customer list, and then we're working on PJ web screens, PJC web screens, I should say. And for those of you who don't know PJC acronym, it's Project and Job Costing module. We have also going to continue with our UX Finder improvements, so that's ongoing. Financial Reporter 64-bit. We've added some PO improvements, which are actual feature enhancements to the PO module. And we've changed entitlement a bit, so there's a few entitlement changes that you'll notice. Say as you get close to maybe your subscription needing to renew, it'll give you a few more warnings and a little bit earlier on. And then reserving land packs. So this is a new feature as well. The idea behind this is you can take your concurrent land packs, which you might say, for example, if you had 10 user land packs today, you could designate 2 of those to either a specific person or also an ISV that you might want to have continuous connectivity for, where you don't want them being bumped or kicked out. So that's another feature. The other thing I wanted to highlight here really is that we're going to consolidate all of our features to our August release and go back to providing 2 product updates a year. November and April will be our product updates, and then our major release will be in August. And payroll will continue as it does today. All right, so quick look. So these are some of the ideas that we're all in the same sort of area. Additional cost on purchase orders. You can see that we have many items, all related, and then we have one that's need report to identify receipts that are not being invoiced. So those are kind of 2 features. I grouped those first 4 that kind of slowly trickled in, all around updating, providing better additional cost for PO. And then I guess better support for additional cost and purchase order, and then the report itself. So with that said, thank you very much.